Good morning. This is John Harder with another live broadcast episode 87. 87. I've done likely over 100 broadcasts, but I've been only numbering the ones that I was able to book on Kringles. Of course, that is changing right now as we speak, because yesterday the booking did not work for today on the Kringles Cash site. So today, uh, this morning's broadcast was not booked on Kringles because the site wasn't working yesterday. Apparently, it did for one person, because it showed that Doc Dan his was on for today, but I guess. So they must be working on the site or something. So it didn't work, and I still wanted to do a broadcast. So here we go. All right. So I know in the title it says that that this is Plat, which actually I'm just going to do in English this morning. I had. I don't know. I must have gotten mixed up or something when I booked it, because I don't do my 9 o'clock ones in German. So and the German ones I only do when I have time. Actually, if I'm not too busy with everything else, then I do them. But so I don't know. This one says it's Diesch, but I'm gonna do it in English. So anyway. Well, let us begin. So, well, today, I don't know how it worked for you on the Kringles Cash site, but I collected 150 leads. Actually, I chose Belize at first, and I thought I may as well do Belize for a few days. And only one lead showed up. Only one lead came up on the Kringles Cash for Belize. So I'm guessing that Belize is covered. So, and one of the leads in Belize is mine. Also, so then I chose a different country, and I've been, it's now actually 200 leads that I've been getting today. I'm hoping that that isn't just because it's a flaw in the system, because it's not my intention to milk the system, but that's what became available. And I think if we do the math between those few of us who do broadcasts, if all of those leads are divided among us, then 50 leads a day we wouldn't nearly cover it, all of those people in this short period of time. So I'm thinking that that admin is releasing a lot more leads, although I haven't read it on the blog. I haven't actually the last couple of posts that are on the blog that have been this morning, I have not read them yet. So I'll be doing that later during the day. And if there is, I will likely be referring to stuff that is on it tonight, on tonight's broadcast. If you know, if there is stuff on there that is, and which usually it is. Usually there is stuff on there that is good to to mention in the broadcast, right? So I mean, that's where our information comes from, and as we know from lately, the information can. Thank you. the information updates can, you know, there have been quite a few changes on things. So it is, we do well to keep ourselves up to date and informed about that. Mm. Oh, my wife just brought me a delicious coffee here. All right, so without any further ado, let us begin. And so the subject that I want to touch on today is that of freedom for humanity. If you are if you have been indulging yourselves in what's the information that's on the blog, then you have a very good idea. You have a very good idea what kind of a world we live in, and that the basic structure of the world is that the powers that shouldn't be are pulling all the strings as to how the governments operate. It isn't our government that decides what we are allowed to, or what is illegal or illegal. It's not our governments that decide these things. And I'm thinking that you likely know that. And it's not the major corporations either that are above, that are, you know, that control our governments. It's not them either. They may be the ones that are forming a lot of the strategies as to how it's supposed to be implemented, and maybe the governments likely do some of that as well, but I believe even most of that is not left up to our governments to decide. But where does it all come from? From the banking cartels, the murderers, the ones that are behind the child trafficking and child abuse, sex abuse, child sex abuse. Those are the people that make up the rules that are forced on us to live by. Now, I want to ask ourselves, how do we understand how they got to where they are? Do we understand how they managed to get on that position where they are currently? You see, you can't push humanity. You can maybe some, but ultimately you cannot push and demand of humanity, because there is a point where we will just we will rather just we will rather give our life than to do certain things. For instance, if we if a person's faith is challenged, the subconscious has the faith, that is the belief system that is lodged in the subconscious, is strong enough that it will give up the body rather than its beliefs. Now, this could vary from person to person somewhat. It depends very much on how you're programmed, as to how real your faith is to you. It would have a lot to do with that, because we know that people do compromise. But how did they manage to get to where they are? Well, let me tell you the secret, how they did it. They used the humanity's voluntary consent. That's what they do. They use our silent consent to create the structure, and then of course, how do they gain our consent? Not by telling us what they're up to. My collar is sitting funny. Okay, not by telling us what they're up to. That's not how they gain our consent. Because if they did, there's no way we wouldn't consent. But what they do is they always use tricks, always deceit. Let's pick a couple of instances, okay? You know, I'm going to use the word patent. What is a patent? Okay, let me say it this way. What do people believe that a patent is as compared to what it really is? There is a very, very big difference there. What people believe that a patent, what that means, to what it actually means, the difference is very big. What a driver's license? What is the reason for a driver's license? What does it mean? The idea that the general public has what a driver's license is for is that to make it safe, to make sure that the person holding the license, they have been properly trained and so on and so on, and therefore they have been granted a license because they you know, this is kind of like proof that they know how to operate the vehicle. That is the false belief that people have, that what a license is for. What is it for? What is the driver's license for? A driver's license is it's a means of debt. It's a debt instrument. A driver's license is a debt instrument. Driver's license, when you make a driver's license, you have volunteered to create a debt instrument that can be traded in the markets and on Wall Street, and that can generate, you know, millions of dollars, and you know nothing about that. All you did is you went and paid in order to get the license so that you could legally operate a motor vehicle, thinking that it's a safety for you, that it's that now you can legally do this, and you can, it is proof that you have been through the training, which none of that actually has anything to do with it. It is about the money that is generated from it. That's what it's about. The same thing with a patent. A patent, people have the idea, this is what we're told, that you do a patent, and then of course then you sit on that patent. It's now others cannot make what the patent, because you hold the patent. But who really holds that patent? Because what you've done by patenting is now you have just went and handed the project over to the government, which is actually not really the government. It's much higher than that, but now they are calling the shots, whether you can make what you want to make or whatever. It's completely out of your hands. You just you know, how would we say it? And in the movies, you would hear a line like this: "You've just handed your ass over to them." That's basically all that is. It has nothing to do with somebody else not being able to make it for, you know, for your so that you have the full benefit of you know, of creating whatever it is you're holding the patent on. Now, there's another point I wanted to make about that. Oh, again, it's a trading instrument as well. A parking ticket is a trading instrument. It's a debt instrument. A patent is a debt instrument. Every single interaction that you have regarding any license, anything, even your very birth certificate, is a debt instrument. This is how they have gotten to where they are, the powers that shouldn't be. Now, I know that I have been giving a lot of information here that hardly anybody in the public knows. Hardly anybody knows this. And this is why we need to make TBC work. This is why we need to move forward and have and create an economy that is not debt-based. Now, we realize that in order to operate in the world, we are going to have to taxes and those things will need to remain at least at this point, and it's very unlikely for us to change those things anytime soon, because we know how the powers that shouldn't be operate. So how do we get past all this and actually free ourselves from the debt-based system? You see, TBC cannot free us from it. I know that that people think that, but you don't understand if that's what you think. If that is what a person thinks, then you do not understand the system that we're living in. You do not understand the world. It is great. It is, like I've been saying, it is a great tool, but folks, it goes deeper than that. It goes deeper than that. In order to actually be free and for it to work, we've got to free ourselves from the system. In the Bible, we have been given not the instructions how to do it, but we've been given enough to tell us that it's possible. Because in the scriptures, we read that we can be in the world, but not of the world. And that is what we have to do. That is what we have to personally actually practice and separate ourselves completely from the system. And that is available. I have links in the description where you can find the information as to how that works. So if you want to know more about that, I would encourage you find the link that there is one that it's a series of videos of 17 videos that will give you a pretty good overview, and it's called How It All Fits Together. Okay, that will give you an overview that at least you will know what I'm talking about. Because as I mentioned, I know that people have this idea that with TBC we can free ourselves from. We can't. That will not do it, folks. It is a great tool, but it's not going to do it. It goes deeper than that. All right. And I just want to be honest. I'm not here to down TBC. I think TBC is great. It's the greatest tool we've ever had. But aside from actually separating ourselves from the system, but that is the only option. And my belief is that if 51% of the world's population would do that, then by then we would have enough power that the rest might not even have to. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. That's just what I'm just basically telling you is I'm telling you that there is more to it than just TBC. It doesn't help us any to how should I say, that we go through so much only to fool ourselves, to realize that this isn't going to do it. Now I know that the person that is working with that, he's well aware of TBC. They are already in 30 countries. Their groups and stuff, and there are people that are freeing themselves from the system, as I said, and they are considering that TBC to be actually be part of their monetary system eventually, when TBC is ready to be that, which I believe once the migration is done and some of those things fall in place, then I believe that TBC will meet what is the required for us to be aboard their system, which is going to be actually quite a boost for TBC. That is awesome to see, and I really I really hope that actually does happen, because this will be good. All right, so now for those of you who have TBC and you haven't migrated yet, let me just encourage you to migrate. If you know me, I am not a person to go and push and say that you have to do this or you have to do that. Every one of us was born into this world to be a free person, not being told by anybody else what to do. We are free people, and I believe that it's we ought to honor that freedom that others have, and not tell them you have to do this or you have to do that. Now, I realize that let's say you have a website. Well, for instance, if you join johnharder.com, you have to, in order to, it's your voluntary choice. But if you want to use the service, then you do need to accept the terms. You see how it works. I am not telling you anything that you have to do, but you do need to, and basically all the terms is that we are decent and honor each other, and we don't go and do anything to hurt other people or whatever. Like, it's not that it's terms that require you to be nasty to anybody. Okay. And that you be, clean content, no porno content or anything that of that nature, right? So we want to maintain the integrity of decency, and so which not everybody possesses, and that's why we need to put some terms and conditions. And of course, it doesn't mean that we're going to manhandle them or anything. All it means is that if they don't abide by those terms, their account will be deleted, because we want a clean place. My website, my services need to reflect what I stand for, and so it's by a person's voluntary choice whether they want to use my services or not. And this is really very basic stuff, but I believe that it's just not my. I don't have the right to tell other people what they have to or can't do. Aside from, of course, agreeing or with the terms that I have written out for that. And now this is very much how it is in TBC as well. Now, the thing is, when we come on board and we agree to the terms, we agree to things, and those terms and things, they change later. Well, do we, in order to participate, then we need a continuation of that agreement. In other words, it is always up to me whether I want to participate or not. If the terms change, well, then I need to reevaluate. Do I want to continue? Right? So it's really it is voluntary consent in that sense. But so that gives me no right, as it were, to get angry when something ends up being different than I expected, or anything like that, right? The only, it becomes my choice whether I want to keep participating or not. If I don't agree, then obviously it's me that needs to take the actions. Now, for those of you who are in TBC, if you haven't migrated, you are very likely sitting on quite a bit of money. And because we had some technical difficulties, well, those have been cleared up. They have been cleared up. So it is not TBC works great now. The wallet works great. It's fast. And the system works good. And you are sitting on quite a bit of money, because you may have received the 50,000 kringles or 100,000 kringles, and that is quite a bit of money. That is somewhere at least from 7,000 to 14 or maybe $15,000 already. Now, here's what my advice would be if you were asking me what you should do. If you asked me what I think your next steps would be in order to claim your money, I would say see to it that your $10 fee is paid in the back office, and then click the migration off button in the Kringle's back office and go through the steps and migrate to the new wallet. If you aren't comfortable with going through that, you can sign up at johnharder.com in the description below, and just a free member. There's no fees for that, and there is all the information. You can watch the video that'll take you through the steps that will, show you how to migrate. So that's all there. All right. So that is my advice if you want to know how you can do it so you don't lose your coins. Because when the old blockchain gets shut down, those coins will be lost. It's up to you now to go through the steps to keep them. Now, we still do have a gift on the new wallet as well, but it ain't nearly what you are sitting on now. Okay, so you might want to do yourself that favor and keep your wealth that you already have. For those who aren't in TBC yet, let me tell you something. We have a system that has been created to end global poverty. Now, if you've been watching this video from the beginning, I have given you all the information that I can really give you here in order for you to take the steps that you can take to literally completely free yourself from the system, from the world system, as it were. And that includes paying taxes. It includes, you can be free from all of it, licenses, insurances, everything that you want to be free from, you can actually be free. In order to do this, you have to absolutely live in a way that you have no hooks to the system. And if you go through those videos, those 17 videos that I told you, most of the videos aren't very long. I've been through them, I think, 2 or 3 times, and I have actually enrolled in the course and in the training, which those videos are the overview of that. And it goes into quite a bit of depth as to how the system works and what it takes to be free from it. Okay. So I think last night I mentioned in my hangout that if there is a problem, that also means there is a solution. There can never ever be a problem that has no solution. This is not possible. It is not possible because it is a cosmic law. I don't mean a law that is made up by the so-called Illuminati or the powers that shouldn't be. It's a cosmic law that every problem has a solution. The difference is whether we focus on the problem or on the solution. Because if you focus on the problem, your subconscious isn't going to help you. It is not going to do anything for you. Actually, quite on the contrary. As long as you focus on the problem, it will perpetuate, because the subconscious always magnifies what you focus on. It always magnifies what you focus on. It can be very difficult for a person to overcome this. This is why people die from diseases, because they're focused on the disease and the subconscious kills them. because they are not focusing on the solution, on the healing, because there's healing for every disease. It's a cosmic law. It's a cosmic law. The only thing that it's hinging on is what you believe. That's the only factor in that equation, what you believe. Listen, there's a verse that you may have often read in the Bible, and you might not have realized its actual content. As thou hast believed, so is it done unto thee. It is a cosmic law. What you believe happens in your life. If you believe in success, you will succeed. If you believe in failure, you will fail. If you believe in the disease, it will perpetuate. If you believe in the healing, it will heal you. Your belief is where the power is. How do you think a witch doctor can heal a person? Folks, it has nothing to do with the witch doctor, but he tricks the person into believing, and that's what heals it. Now, if a false faith can heal, then why wouldn't a true faith be able to? This is why we have that statement. As thou hast believed, so is it done unto thee. Okay? So this is very good advice for us. This is very powerful advice, because we can succeed in basically anything we set our mind to. We can succeed, but we have to believe in success, right? You have to truly believe it. Okay, so I hope that I've given you something that that has helped you and inspired you in some way. Let's go see Bitcoin Scott. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Stephen Cuffey, thank you as well. And Sharon, thank you very much for also hanging out with me. I truly appreciate it. And let us move forward and believe in the success of TBC, and of course the free energy. I haven't said much about it today, but I will tonight. I will be more about the energy again. All right. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning. I can't book this one on Kringle's. I mean, I can't claim it because I wasn't able to book yesterday. The Kringle site wasn't working. I don't know if any of you were able to book. But I know I wasn't able to, and so, but it's okay. I enjoy doing these, and my only desire is that I can truly inspire people, and that I give you, sometimes what I say, it may sound very blunt, very um, I sometimes I get a little emotional, and maybe it sounds like I'm mad. I'm not. I truly love you guys. I love everyone, but I do get passionate about it sometimes, and I really want to make a point, and have it understood. It's kind of. It's kind of almost like a pain inside when you see people struggling so badly, and it's only because of their misunderstanding, not having any idea how to believe. Folks, this is humanity's biggest problem. They don't know how to believe. They don't know how to have faith. And they don't understand faith. Faith isn't something that you can just irrationally decide on. Faith is what you have previously decided and planted in your subconscious. That's where the things that you believe reside, and they can be changed anytime, but we need to understand how to do that. Okay, so maybe I'll sometime do a video just on that, how to change your belief system, because this is the biggest problem that humanity has. They don't know how to believe, and quite basically, it's because they haven't been taught how to believe, or how to establish proper beliefs in their subconscious, and not to mention, most of what they've been taught are lies. So it's no wonder that it's difficult, because we live in a very confusing world and confused. Okay, so again, I also appreciate you for moderating, Marjorie. Thank you very much. And so I guess that is concludes my broadcast for today. I hope I have given you something that helps you. Thank you so much, and peace.